that it's a sickening number. I'm not good with the numbers, so I can't quote you exactly. But yes, I do think that the oil has a lot to do with it. But I think also that the Iraqi people have kind of smartened up to that. So they've kind of figured out what was going on, and I don't think that they will allow that to happen.
Back to your organization, Iraq Veterans Against the War. What kind of numbers do you have in your organization?
We have about, right now, 1,300 members and 56 chapters in 48 states.
Wow.
I believe that we have a chapter in Guam also, and a couple probably in the foreign countries. Like I think that there might even be a chapter in Iraq. Of course, it's a mobile chapter. But we are growing by leaps and bounds as we get the word out there.
And I believe I saw on your website your organization is open to anyone who served in the military after 9/11. After 9/11, is that correct?
That's correct.
We also reported on what happened to some of your members at the Republican National Convention, and we had it on our website. That was just atrocious to see our Iraq veterans trampled by horses by the police. Unbelievable. The war cost, as you know, is over $10 billion per month. Do you see this as one of the major causes of our economic collapse here at home now?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Imagine what that money could have done for our infrastructure, for our education, our children's education, for college education. And a quarter of that money has been put into the VA system. Imagine how much better our veterans, not just Iraq veterans and Afghanistan veterans, but our veterans in general, how much better we would be doing.
One thing we've been highly outspoken on our broadcast here, as also members of We Are Change North Carolina, is the situation with the 9/11 first responders not getting the help and assistance they need from the federal government. But this is also true, of course, of our veterans, particularly from all the injuries and suffering. We also saw the situation at Walter Reed. Could you go into that for us a little bit?
The situation at Walter Reed where it was found that they weren't properly taking care of the soldiers. Is that the one? I know there are a few things that was happening at Walter Reed.
Yes, and just the overall situation of veterans returning, not getting the support and care that they need.
Right. Well, that's a direct reflection of mismanagement of money. If the VA does not receive their money appropriately and on time, and the amount that they say that they need, then you can't possibly expect them to be able to take care of their troops. You can't expect them to maintain a building to proper standards. And I'm not making any excuses by any means, because that whole situation angers me a lot. But it's just, honestly, you have to look back and see exactly whose fault it is and go to the very beginning of the situation and figure out what we need to do to fix it. I think because of Walter Reed, that was a waking point for a lot of American citizens, because they assumed that, like I did when I first went into the military, they assumed that soldiers and veterans receive world-class health care, and that is not the case. Our country cannot afford that right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, our government for decades have went around the world passing out the money by the billions. Georgia just recently receiving $1 billion for being the aggressor nation and attacking South Ossetia, but don't have money to take care of our own veterans that fought us through wars. It's a national travesty. And in closing today, Ms. Moore, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Real News. We'd like to have you back from time to time and update what's going on with your organization. Again, it's ivaw.org, Iraq Veterans Against the War. Give you the last word. Is there anything you'd like to add today?
Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for giving us another voice. And if anybody has any questions, like you said, they can go to the IVAW website. They can request speakers, and they can check out what kind of things we have going on now in community awareness. And I do appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me today.
All right, it was an honor to have you on. Really appreciate your work and what you're doing, and we would like to have you on maybe in a couple months and just update what's going on with the Iraq Veterans Against the War.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, do a couple segments of news, and then take your phone calls. We're here on WSIC 1400, WDSL 1520. Our email address is onair@therealnewsradio.com, and our website's therealnewsradio.com. And we'll be back with you after the break. All right, we're back on The Real News. We're already getting some phone calls. We've got a couple segments of news we want to do so we can get them in today, and then we will go to your calls. So if you're calling, just hang on, or feel free to call back here in just a couple of minutes. This came out this week by Chuck Baldwin, which, as you know, was a candidate for president of Constitution Party. Tom DeWeese, chairman of the American Policy Center, recently issued an urgent alert regarding a revived effort to assemble a modern constitutional convention. The United States has not assembled such a convention since 1787. When a constitutional convention assembles, such a convention can replace the Articles of the Confederation with the U.S. Constitution. Fortunately, the delegates to the Constitutional Convention of 1787 were composed of freedom-loving patriots who had just fought a bloody war for independence and were in no mind to reenact tyranny upon the land they had just fought to liberate. However, can one imagine what would happen if the current bunch of politically correct leftists in Washington, D.C. were to be granted the power to rewrite our Constitution? It would be the end of the United States of America, and that's no hyperbole. The modern Constitutional Convention effort began back in the 70s. Since then, 32 states have issued the call. The total number of states that are required to enact the convention is 34. Simple math reveals that we're only 2 states short of this disaster. As word of this potential calamity began to surface, the effort stalled, with the total states issuing the call struck at 32. With the election of Barack Obama, however, supporters of a new convention have been emboldened and are now trying to resurrect the momentum. The state that is currently in the crosshairs appears to be Ohio. So I want to let everyone know we have the possibility in 2009 of seeing a constitutional convention, and that would have the power to totally do away with the Constitution as we know it, every part of it, rewrite it. This would be the end of freedom as we know it, what semblance we still have left under our dismantled Constitution that we have. I have an email that I wanted to read, and this is from Jim, and it says, "Wake up, people. History is once again repeating itself." This is a quote from Hermann Goering during the Nuremberg trials, and I quote, "Naturally, the common people don't want war, neither in Russia, nor in England, nor in America, nor in Germany. That is understood. But after all, it is the leaders of the country who determine policy, and it is always a simple matter to drag the people along, whether it is a democracy, a fascist dictatorship, or a parliament, or a communist dictatorship. Voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of the leaders. That is easy. All you have to do is tell them they are being attacked and denounce the pacifists for lack of patriotism and exposing the country to danger. It works the same in every country." Then Jim has his quote, "Wake up, 9/11 was an inside job." And I think that's very interesting. It certainly tells the times that we're in and how we got to where we're at today. And if you'd like to call in, we're going to take phone calls for the rest of our time. 704-873-1400 is our Davie County number. 336-499-0681 is our Davie County number. 873-1400 is our Statesville number. So if you'd like to call in, comment on our guest or the news of the week, the bailouts, or anything else, this is a forum for the listener. Something else I wanted to comment on that you won't see in the mainstream press, and Brian, you might want to comment on this too, and is it a sign of things to come? In years past, the Secret Service and local law enforcement were responsible for protecting the president during the inauguration. Now that duty has apparently shifted to the military and Northcom. It would seem Northcom is not enough, however. General Jean Renard says an integrated air defense system, including Canadians, will be up and robust and available. Since when have the Canadians been tasked with protecting the president during his swearing in? Canada and the U.S. signed an agreement that paved the way for the militaries from either nation to send troops across each other's borders during an emergency. I guess we are to consider now that the inauguration of Barack Obama is an emergency. We got a phone call. We're going to go to the phones. Hey, you're on the Real News?
Yes, about the